Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of TJ Hates Quitters, where we are recapping MTV's The Challenge Ride or Dies over here on Silent Podcast, where we are anything but silent. My name is Kari. I am joined by my co-host Katie. Katie, we've spent the last 2 hours together talking about Real Housewives. So, how are you since your slice of pizza?
I was gonna say I'm good. I had a slice of pizza. I'm drinking Diet Coke now. Did a quick Reddit deep dive for the 10 minutes that we were off, and have some things to talk about now. We always had things to talk about, but I'm good. How was your 10-minute break? Oh, you're totally frozen with a wild smile on your face right now. It's pretty. It's a lot. Well, until Kari comes back. For anybody watching on the YouTube, Kari's totally frozen. We unfortunately just found out some really Oh, there you are. You're back. I was going to
Sorry.
break the news. You were frozen with a very you just looked like you were smiling at me.
Oh, well, that's because I saw it. I asked, how was your slice of pizza? And then our internet froze. But
It
we're
was
back.
good. The pizza was good.
Yeah, and then you said, how was your 10-minute break? I could hear that, which it was fine. I pet Nitro. I went to the bathroom. That was it.
Great.
That was it. Nothing too exciting. But something very disheartening happened literally like 3 minutes ago. And
I was just about to tell the story while you were potentially frozen.
yeah, well, I mean, my heart is frozen, but
Yeah.
not my internet anymore. So apparently, my one half of my favorite team from this season, which is Olivia and
Also my
Horacio,
favorite team.
um, one half of them is just out here on TikTok liking things with hashtags like all lives matter and stuff with that is like against trans people. And what sucks is that there's still people who think this way. And we here on TJ Hates Quitters are completely in support of all creeds, colors, our LGBTQIA crew, and any and all the above. And so finding this out literally right before we started podcasting was very disappointing. I just had to delete my tweet saying, if Horacio and Olivia are not your favorite team this season, then let me know so I can block you. But I guess I deserve to be blocked.
Yeah, it's
Olivia deserves to be blocked.
Yeah, Olivia. I was going to say, just to be clear, it is Olivia that we're talking about, and it just sucks. A friend of the podcast posted a Reddit thread from a year ago from the Love Island subreddit saying, just a reminder about Olivia, with a bunch of TikToks that she's liked that were super problematic, super racist, super anti-trans, super gross, terrible shit. So this is what happens when we get attached to people here, especially on MTV's The Challenge. We just, we let our guards down, and this is what happens. We have to be better than this, Kari.
What am I to expect from a show who took back Johnny Bananas, who just did a political ad for Dr. Oz? What am I to expect?
What? I didn't know this.
Yeah.
God, I can't. Are you kidding me?
I don't know if it was like a full-on political ad, but he is like, maybe it's in like an Instagram video or something. But yeah, I saw that. Here's my hope. Here is my hope for Olivia. Maybe she came from a not diverse place, wherever she's from. I don't know where she's from. And her experience on Love Island, where she was with different people and got to experience different people from different places that are of different races, of different ethnicities, whatever. Maybe that opened her eyes a bit to like, okay, let's be more accepting. And maybe like she's growing. I'm hoping that for her. I'm not saying that happened. I'm just hoping that her experience on reality TV has opened her eyes, because she's like, I've loved her personality. They're my favorite team to root for by a landslide so far in these first 3 episodes, and it's just like a literal gut punch. That's what it felt like when Katie was like, hey, so by the way, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm just so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. So I'm hoping she grows her views and has experiences where she realizes, like, oh shit, what I've been thinking is wrong. I really do hope that for her, because um I'm just gonna end it there. I just really hope that for her.
That's very nice of you to say. I have little to no hope that that's the case, but as Indy on Big Brother 24 said about Kyle, whose views were racist but based in ignorance, her views are racist and seemingly based in hate. So it just feels like when your views are based in hate and not just so much not knowing, I just like don't. Not knowing is not an excuse to me personally in the year 2022, where we have very fast internet speeds and a wealth of knowledge across the world on TV and online and anywhere that you choose to look. It's just not an excuse to me. But especially when your views are viewed in just complete hate for something that you don't understand, rather than just like having a problematic view because you don't realize it's problematic. Both are bad, but one I think has a chance to change, the other potentially doesn't. And this is not me supporting Kyle from Big Brother, by the way. I think he's also trash. But I think one type of viewpoint has an opportunity, and the other is rooted in something much deeper than ignorance.
Shit.
Also,
Just
fuck
so
Johnny
sad.
Bananas. This is why I never want this man on TV. I take back every good thing I said about Bananas. I know well, Jordan's also a Trump supporter. Everybody on the show is bad. Let's just blanket that. Everybody on the show is bad. Except Nelson.
Except Horacio.
And Horacio.
I mean, Nelson. But shit, I was so excited to talk about this episode.
I know,
I'm
we
just
really,
so
like-
mad at Olivia right now.
Yeah, it's rough because this was a great episode for them as a team. So it's rough. It's going to be rough, I think, to talk about it without this clouding it. And it should cloud it. It's not like we should ignore it, but it's like, damn.
So here's something that I've I don't want to say I've struggled with, but I've definitely thought about, where it's obviously never going to happen that we all are on the same side of political views, right? But then obviously racism, homophobia, transphobia, all these things not acceptable, right? And I mean, how do you it's just so hard for me to understand how we cast these shows and draw the line on okay, we're okay with this Republican, but we're not okay with this person. What background do they do or not do? How do you not, if someone's, I mean, your likes are public on TikTok, or not on TikTok, on Twitter. We've talked about that on our podcasts. And I mean, this was found out because her likes were public on TikTok. And how are we not searching these things beforehand? I'm okay with bringing on people who have different political backgrounds, but not when then it crosses the line of human rights. And it's gotta be such a hard line to figure out. And we can't just, I don't know, it's something I thought about. I don't know if I put together a coherent thought there, but
Yeah, I feel like in the year 2022, it's a really blurry, zigzaggy line of I'm just a Republican or I'm a hateful, and I apologize if you don't like what I'm about to say, but if you don't like what I'm about to say, I also don't really care. It's really difficult. What's a good Republican? Because if you're voting that way, you're voting to take away rights from women, to take away rights from people of color, to suppress people's vote, to keep people in poverty, to not allow people to have health care. So at what point does it become oh, I'm just fiscally conservative, but I'm socially liberal? No, you're fucking not. And if you're okay ignoring all of that, and you're okay still voting for candidates that want to keep people down, people who are in poverty, people who are not white, people who are not male, people who are not straight, then you're also just as hateful as people who firmly are saying it out loud with their whole fucking chest. So like, I don't want to see any of these people on my TV. I
And
don't
that's
want to know Johnny Bananas. I don't want Johnny Bananas. I don't want to see Johnny Bananas making a fucking ad for Dr. Oz. I don't want Sarah Lacina on my fucking TV making an anti Nancy Pelosi ad. Like, get these people off TV. They're fucking problem. I don't care that like everybody's like, oh, I like Sarah. She's cool. No, she's fucking not, because she's voting against you. Everybody that you're friends with on the show who's not white, she's voting against you. Every woman on the show, she's fucking voting against you and your fucking basic humanity. So like, fuck her, get her off my TV, get Johnny Bananas off my TV, get Olivia off my TV. Like, this fucking sucks.
I completely agree. I let me explain something about what I said prior, because uh everything Katie just said, I agree with. I was thinking of it from like a, if I'm a TV producer in America, and obviously like they're not trying to limit their audience by 50% by, okay, we only cast like 20 liberal people here, and because you know that they have to cast people that others identify with. Like, that's one of the things that happens on these shows, is you tend to root for the people that you like, you can share an identity with in some sort of way. And it's like, damn, but how do you like sleep at night by then putting these people who are rooting on Dr. Oz or are liking TikToks of these hateful messages? And I mean, all of it, so it's just like a lot to think about, that I mean, and I mean, some of these TV producers probably still like agree with the people that they're putting on these TV shows as well. And
That's the
I don't
thing.
know.
That's the thing. And I think a lot of these shows, we saw it, and I hate to keep bringing up Big Brother, but so much of it is relevant from what we went through this season with Taylor and Monty, and as disgusting as Terrence is as a human being, with Terrence as well, when some of Kyle's racist tendencies or ignorant, whatever you want to call it, came out, microaggressions and underlying beliefs came out. Like, those are real people that had to deal with that, with the how heavy that is. And this is something they deal with every single day. So it's like, these people who cast these shows, sure, you have a 50% diversity initiative, and that's great. Whatever, representation is very important, but you're putting people in an unsafe situation. And I'm not saying physically unsafe, but like, people shouldn't have to be around people who hate the fundamental core of them because of the color of their skin. Be put in a situation who hate them with people who hate them because of their sexual orientation. People shouldn't have to be in those situations because of their gender. Like, it's not fair to put people in that situation. And because we don't have diversity at the top of these networks, and it's a conversation on every show and every network and over and over and over again, there are pictures of the producers of Big Brother and the people who work behind the scenes, and it's all a bunch of white dudes.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. They were all together watching the finale, and there's a bunch of white dudes. And like, obviously, hello, all they did was protect their racist cast member Kyle all season, and shutting down the feeds when there were race conversations happening that were very important for people to hear. And like, on the challenge, same thing. I'm sure Viacom execs are all fucking white people. So it's like, it doesn't seem like there's an openly racist undercurrent of the challenge. And I think the challenge has been a little better in some aspects, some not so much. I think we can remember back to Cheyenne when Johnny Bananas and his disgusting cousin Vince were like purposely calling her a different name. Like, but it's just like, something's got to give at some point. And like, it just sucks to be like, cool, I'm rooting this person on, just to find out they're just a piece of shit, like everybody else is a piece of shit. And that sucks. At least like, tell Johnny Bananas and those other people, like, while you're under contract with MTV, you can't do a fucking political ad. Like, just keep it to yourself at least.
Yeah, I don't know if it was, I don't want to say it was like, this is funded by type of ad, but he did a video, I saw it on the internet, with Dr. Oz. It could have been like they were at a party together, but it, like, he was in a video being like, yeah, vote for Dr. Oz. So that definitely,
Yeah, Dr. Oz is dangerous. He's dangerous. So like, That's just fucked up. It's just fucked up. And Sarah Lucina literally was in a political commercial for
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi. Some. I don't think it was a Nancy Pelosi opponent. It was some Iowa politician, an anti-Iowa politician ad who voted with Nancy Pelosi a bunch of times. It's just like, oh God, I'm fucking tired of it. And for people who are
That's
like, oh, leave politics out of these shows and whatever, it's like you really just can't anymore. It's just like you can't ignore it. Sorry, it's a way.
well,
It's like it's seeping into every area of our lives at this point, and like it should, because everybody should be aware of like the literal danger that everybody in this country who's not a straight white man is facing right now.
and the other part of it is like saying, oh, I mean, I got a bunch of this feedback when I tweeted something the first week of Survivor is like, keep race out of it, keep this out of it, whatever. Like, this is a reality TV show where you're you as a person, whatever you are, whether you're man, woman, non-binary, trans, like gay, straight, queer, whatever, like black, white, all your ethnicity, your religion, like we see all these things come up within the show, whether or not it's out loud or um just through like purposeful comments that don't directly address it, maybe passively, whatever. But like we see it in this episode. We see Fessy saying that he wants to be called Faysal because he wants to represent like his culture, his like and like we see it come up. So you it's so hard to then like promote and encourage these things and then at the same time bring on cast members who are against the exact same type of thing and
Right.
um to say like
Like
it shouldn't get involved, like you can't not let it get involved because these are real people who are it like even though it's within a game are interacting with each other in real life and like in real life that stuff matters.
totally. And I'll do my best to call him Fessel. I know him as Fessy. He was called Fessel here and there on Big Brother as well, but you know, to put Fessel, and I don't know what his political views are. I wouldn't be surprised if they're shitty because just because he's going by his name Fessel now instead of his nickname Fessy, and he's doing it for a good reason, doesn't mean he's not a fucking idiot, because he's a fucking idiot. Like, he's done a good thing here. I think that's great that, you know,
Yeah.
that he's calling attention to his background and his culture. But he still sucks. Let's not get it twisted. But to put him in a situation with someone like a Johnny Bananas or a Jordan, who are open Donald Trump supporters, who were, oh, guess what Donald Trump supported and put into place? A fucking Muslim ban. Like,
Yeah.
how is that fair to do to Fessel? It's just shitty. It's shitty. But I guess, like, at the same time, that's life, right? We all have to deal with these fucking piece of shit people that we know every day in real life. But it just, like, it sucks for someone like a Fessel or like any of the black people on this show or any trans individual, because it's like you can't hide who you are. So it's like you don't have the privilege of ignoring it. Like all the white people on Twitter that are like, leave race out of it. Like, it's because you have the privilege to ignore it.
And that kind of like circles back to where I am hoping that Olivia takes the time to grow based off of her experiences. I mean, like her partner is a man of color. Like he, you know what I mean? Like this isn't I don't know how if he knows about this or like her opinions and whatever. Because it's not I don't know what Horacio's like views on shit is, and I don't know if I want to know because if he gets ruined for me, I might actually cry. I might actually cry, but
Yeah, he is
like
great.
um I had like so my first 4 years of teaching, I taught in the northeast corner of Connecticut, where if you were to go back to the 2016 election, it was the only county in Connecticut that ended up with like Trump as the majority vote. The rest of
Ugh.
Connecticut was blue, right? So just to give you like a good idea, an easy idea of where I was at. It's very rural, um, socioeconomics, not the greatest in some of the areas. So students that I taught it was a predominantly white school, very predominantly white school. Very few students of color, and the like interesting thing that I noticed teaching there was to those students of color, the white kids were great to them, because to them it was like, oh, but we know you. But then
Exactly.
when you generalize, like, oh, but insert
Yeah.
whatever oppressed minority group you want to as a whole, and it's not this specific individual, that's when the isms came out. And so here is, to me, hoping that Olivia takes these experiences, because like you said, MTV is specifically the challenge, I think, has been ahead of the curve in terms of having a diverse cast. It didn't take the Viacom 50%
Hmm.
rule. If anything, that only encouraged even more so um,
Yeah.
diversity in their casting. But they had a pretty diverse cast going regardless. And I mean, that probably stems from the idea that they took their original people from like the real world, where they were purposefully trying to cast 7 different people every season or whatever. But whatever, like, here I am hoping, Olivia, that you take these experiences that are hopefully positive in the challenge house and these people that you're meeting, and like start learning a bit. Because I mean, like, you think of who she's in there with, like, yeah, that she's in there with Jordan Bananas, but you have a woman like Aneesa, who, like, if she were to say the wrong thing in front of Aneesa will not hesitate in telling
Yeah.
her, here's why you're wrong, and like to go fuck yourself in 18 different ways. So I'm hoping that she has conversations with people that encourage her to at least question her views and learn, because if you do have the privilege of ignoring Olivia's views and continuing to ignore them, like, if you root for her in a vacuum, she's fun, but now knowing this stuff, it just kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does kind of suck. And to be fair, this thread, I'm not being fair to Olivia. I'm just being fair to everybody
To
aside from
fairness.
Olivia. Yeah, like this thread is a year old. I don't know if there's been anything new that's come out since this thread from a year ago, but I think the reason why maybe it's not being like talked about that much, I just happened to see it on Twitter just recently
Yeah.
and like right before the podcast. So it's like that's why it's top of mind for us. I don't know if it's broadly been like
Yeah.
shined a light on since she got cast in the challenge, but it's from a Love Island subreddit, and people have receipts. It's like, you could see her likes; they're very public. So, I don't know if this is like out there in the ether of like challenge Reddit or challenge Twitter or challenge Instagram or whatever, but it's just new information to us, so that's why it's top of mind for us, and we wanted to address it.
We've addressed it. If it
Yeah.
seems like we're coming at this from a little lower energy, it's
Yeah, I was
because
excited to talk about this
me
episode. It
too.
was a
Me
great
too.
episode.
I'm still excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
Um, and any excitement I show for their team, please, because I don't want to say it 20 times throughout the rest of this podcast. Like, you have my views on what I think of Olivia at this point, where like I'm not going to keep explaining like, oh yeah, I'm so excited that they did blah blah blah. That's that. Like,
Yeah.
so we'll keep going, but that's out of the way. Let's get a couple other things out of the way, which is
Yep.
Jordan and Aneesa coming back. We
Yep.
saw Jordan coming back at the end of last episode. We get his like full introduction this episode. One of the greats. Only 6 seasons. He's only been on 6 seasons.
Yeah.
When TJ did that, I'm like, that's crazy.
It is crazy. It is same as Laurel, right? What did you
Yeah,
say?
Laurel
7 seasons for
7. Yeah,
Laurel? Yeah.
Laurel 7.
Yeah. They make a real impact.
That's wild. And what, 4 finals, 3 wins? So he's won 50% of the seasons he's been on.
Yeah, he's pretty regardless of what we think about him personally, pretty stellar athlete.
Yeah. And his ride or die, which is not his ride or die. And I like, this frustrated me, but is Aneesa. So before we get into Aneesa coming back, like, she said things like, listen, I've known him for what, 10 years now. And we've been on so many of these shows together. And at this point he's like family. Oh, by the way, he's my best friend's ex-fiance. So there's that component of it. I don't know, this whole like we're family, but also he's Tori's ex-fiance, who is my best friend.
Yeah.
I was very confused. Like, what? We're talking in circles right now, Aneesa.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they even said like, oh, we're frenemies. And they
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like for some of the other ride or dies, they have like pictures of them from a long time ago and all of that. But like the only picture they showed of Jordan and Aneesa was from like, I don't even remember which it was. It Bloodlines or something? I don't
I
think it
don't.
was
They were
Bloodlines,
like,
but it was like some old season of the challenge where I was like, they don't even care about each other.
mm-hmm.
But Jordan was a pretty good partner to her, I'll say, during the challenge itself. And he seems to like want her to win and want to help her get there. So
Yeah, the move it, or I didn't have the same emotional like movement in the Banani comeback as I did Jordan and Nisa. We know that they were paired out of inconvenience, I guess, because um Anissa was originally cast like on the show with her friend, this guy named James,
right.
and
And they just like never
I think
addressed what happened there, right?
yeah, was it COVID?
I don't
Was
know. I'm
the
not sure.
COVID part? I can't even remember. I know I read about it. I'm sure we could find it if we wanted to. But they essentially like edited her out the first couple episodes, and then Jordan was supposed to come.
Oh, I think we lost Carrie again. Well, I think what Carrie was going to say is that Jordan was supposed to come with Naya, and there was some. She had. I actually recently heard the reason that Naya wasn't there was because she had a vaping issue that impacted her lungs, which I don't have a source for that. But if so, that's really scary. So please be careful about vaping because we don't want anybody to end up like Naya and not be able to get on the show. But I would have much rather have
She had to
seen
drop out last
there.
minute.
You froze.
I know.
Okay. But
Stupid
I
internet.
I don't know if you heard what I said, but I don't have a source for this, but I heard Naya had a vaping issue that like impacted her lungs and that's why she couldn't come on.
Oh, really?
Again, no source at all. It's just what I heard.
No, I hadn't heard that. I heard that was she sick? Did she have a work thing? I can't remember what thing I saw that she had to like drop last minute.
Yeah, I heard it was something vaping that like gave her a lung issue.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but so yeah, essentially both of them lost their partners, so they were paired together out of inconvenience is the best way I can explain it.
Yep.
Um, since I haven't gotten to go on this tirade yet this season, because it's the first time we're seeing Anissa, stop fucking casting Anissa. I
Yeah,
am
I'm over it.
this is her 20th season, did they say, or close to 20 seasons? She's
Oh my
up
god.
there. Anissa.
That's pretty
Um,
rough. She's not really interesting TV to me either. That's the thing. She used to be, but I feel like same with Nani. Like I don't ever need to see Nani again. I'm good. Whether she wins or not, I actually don't give a shit. If it takes you 13 seasons or whatever, and then like getting paired up with the winningest challenger ever in bananas, I don't know monetarily, but challenge wise,
mhm.
like maybe you just aren't that good.
She's this is her 16th season, but then she's also done 2 seasons of Champs versus Stars and
And
one
All
All-Stars
Stars
season. So that's
19.
19, but 16 regular challenge seasons.
Yeah,
And
that's way too many.
I just I don't I like I've said this for years though that I'm over Anissa, and I mean, like, she made a I was watching I kinda, like, stopped, I need to go back to it. Um, I was watching season 37 because I didn't finish watching it, and she made a comment like, "Everybody's, like, paired off and, like, loved up here, like, where's my partners?" Like, well, Anissa, you are 41 still on this show, like, they're
Is
not
she
casting.
41?
Yeah,
Well, good
they're
for
not
her.
casting 41-year-olds on this. They're over on All Stars. Like that's where your love interests could be. Like you're not the target demographic anymore. And it's the same thing where it's if you're CT in 41 and still winning finals, great. Keep coming back. That's fine by me. Um But Aneesa's not. She's
Right.
not. And again, we have, if especially the way that MTV is taking people from literally all over the world from any reality TV show, there's no shortage of reality TV, like people who've been on reality TV that will then like refuse to come on the challenge. You're telling me that we have to take this spot and then add it on to this fucking tired trope of rookies versus vets, and we're just adding in more vets. Like, again, we get these moments of like excitement. Like, it absolutely sucked to me that we had to see two good rookie teams go against each other and
Yeah.
taking like one having to take the other out or whatever. But like the fact that we're getting these very good rookie teams, Johnny and Raven, great. Horacio. Now you have me questioning how to say his name.
I think
Horacio
it's
and
Horacio. It
Olivia,
sounded like
yeah,
everybody was pronouncing it Horacio.
yeah. Horacio and Olivia, great. Like, we have these solid teams, and then but we're just padding on the vets. Stop casting
Yeah.
Aneesa. Stop casting Aneesa. I'm sorry. Like, I appreciate what you've done for women, for black women, for Jewish women, for black Jewish women, and on TV. I absolutely 100% appreciate that. I just don't need to see you on my TV anymore.
Yeah, I feel like she's given everything she's got to give us at this point. Like, not
Yeah.
everybody needs to be on TV forever. It's not that I don't like Anissa. It's just that, like, okay. I mean, she's pretty much on every season. So even like her coming back this season, it's like, okay, well, she was on, I don't know, was she on last season? She's on the
Yeah.
season before. She was on All Stars in between. It's like, all right, we've seen Anissa every single season. It's like, maybe at least give us a break before you bring her back. So we're excited to see her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think to talk about the rookies and the vets thing a little bit, it was like so over the top this episode that I was like, are we ever gonna do anything about this where this is like no longer allowed to be a storyline? Because this is stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you no longer need to worry, in my opinion, about like people skating by to the final without having gone into elimination. You need to figure out a way to balance this out. There has to be some way that you can stop the vets just coming in and being like, okay, for the first like 5 rounds, as long as one of us wins, like it'll be the rookies going in.
And
Figure
then
out a
to have
way.
them be able to throw 4 teams in
Yeah.
is so over the top. It's like even Johnny Bananas said it like with more vets coming in, they're going to have no choice but to take a shot
Yeah.
at the vets. And it's like, yeah. Also, why do we have a rookie team of people? This is what this is. It's I think it's an issue with the format. Like we shouldn't be able to have a team of 2 rookies that have never been on the show before and then have Bananas and Nani as a team. It's just
Mm-hmm.
not fair. Like it's not fair. It's two giant personalities of this show versus Johnny and Raven, who nobody knows who they are. They have no,
Mm-hmm.
like, they're brand new. Of course, they're going to be easy targets. Like, it should be if you have a Johnny Bananas, pair him up with, I know obviously it's a ride or die season, but like, have him be paired, have to bring someone in from his real life that's not, hasn't been on the challenge before, because that'll be a vet and a rookie. Like, it shouldn't have to be these people that have been on the show for literally half of their lives
Mm-hmm.
versus a 20-year-old who's brand new to the show.
I mean, it's why the fresh meat seasons were so good,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah, exactly.
all of the rookies came in on even footing, and every team had a rookie, every team had
Yeah,
a
exactly.
returner. So, yeah, there's definitely ways to combat it, and I don't know. It's frustrating because there's moments of this season of the challenge where I'm like, okay, this isn't gonna suck. But then there's just like these things I'm just tired of. I'm just tired of seeing the
Mhm.
rookies get picked off one by one. And it, like, if you think of it, what, the last 2 weeks, rookie teams have come in second. Like, rookie teams have come in second. They've beaten out everyone else. And like, yeah, it gives you this target, but at the same time, like, they're clearly fucking good. Can't we just get like producers, I don't know, bribe people, keep them around to, to like,
Right.
why do I have to see fucking what's his name? What's his name? Tommy Bracco?
Bracco. Oh
Who
God.
I think
Yeah,
I'm
Tommy
taller
Bracco.
than him, by the way. Like, I think if
You
we went
might
back to
be.
back,
Yeah, you might be.
um, and his partner, which we'll talk about them in a bit, like, why? I don't
Just
know.
idiots.
I'm just frustrated because there's glimpses of good in this season, but then there's these moments of frustration and these just repeating patterns that so many people are fed up with, that production is too concerned about like getting the coolest pyrotechnics to set off instead of like taking the time to sit down and figure out how can we fix this problem that we're having. Like, people aren't connecting with the rookies. They're complaining about how many rookies we bring in, and but at the same time, like, you've got these 40-year-old veterans who just pick them off because they have the social capital to do so. Like, fix it. Fucking fix it.
Yeah, and I think it sucks because this is really one of the first seasons where I felt like these rookie teams, before we found out what we found out about Olivia, especially, like, I was connecting with some of them. Like, I was really enjoying watching them. They're putting on a great performance. I think Johnny is a really interesting character on the show. He immediately started to make waves, and it sucks that he's gone now because he could have been a contender to win the whole thing. And it's just because the numbers are stacked against him that he just had no chance.
Yeah.
And then to have Horacio and Olivia go into an elimination against Johnny and Raven, that's the worst case scenario because those two teams working together could have been a force to be reckoned with. And it sucks now that, like, oh, well, Faysal won and he made a relatively bad game decision because I don't think he has any real ties to the vets other than the fact that he's been on the show 4 times. Like, who is he friendly with? Aneesa doesn't, I mean, maybe she likes him now, but she was his partner and he was horrible to her. So, like,
yeah.
Why are you putting all of your eggs in this basket of the vets when you're on the bottom of, like, you're the lowest rung on the ladder, sir? Like, you're not, they don't care about you. But, you know, as JC, who's also problematic, who was on Big Brother 20 with Faysal, there are great sound clips of him saying Faysal is a moron, and Faysal is a moron. JC was right. Also problematic monster, though, so let's not praise JC too much.
That was the
little person.
Yeah. Okay. Because I only watched this. I fell asleep during the season finale of that season. Like, that was the only episode I watched, and in that one episode, I was like, I feel uncomfortable. All right.
He was actually a pretty good player, unfortunately. He's really problematic as a person, but he was a pretty good Big Brother player. Underrated, I would say.
Oh, okay. So I looked up some stuff. Casey, Kenny, and Aneesa and James, her partner, remained in second quarantine longer than the rest of the cast, but James had to go home.
So Aneesa was in the house with everybody.
Yeah, she was there at the beginning.
And just got edited out of the show.
Yeah, and I think they did that because, they had to obviously with Jordan, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not just do that with Casey and her brother and make it seem like they were coming in late? I don't get it.
I have no idea. Maybe because they didn't want to be accused of not inviting back the female winner again, because that's what they seem to do, is like, a woman wins and they're like, you're an alternate, you can't come back. Well, Amber B wasn't an alternate. I think she chose to be an alternate because, like, of a grandparent's health or something like that. So I didn't take a ton of notes, but in the notes I did take, speaking of health, we did get more of Tori and her mental health and how she said, like, I went to a doctor, they put me on antidepressants. I'm not saying this works for everybody. Some medications work for some people, others don't, whatever. But, like, if you were feeling like I was, if what I'm saying was resonating with you, like, please talk to someone who is a professional. They can hopefully help you not have to feel this way. And I know we brought it up last week, but again, it was like a very direct, like, I am talking to the camera. I am talking to you at home right now. Take this to heart, hopefully. And however people feel about Tori, like, I completely respect how she's being, like, very transparent right now with all of this. And I think that it's got to benefit someone.
Yeah, I'm never going to forgive this show if they make me end up leaving the season liking Tori, because I found her significantly more likable this episode than I have since she's ever been on the show, maybe. So I will never forgive the show if you guys make me into a Tori tolerator. But I'm getting there. But I think this was a really good message from Tori. And I think from a mental health standpoint, there's still unfortunately a really big stigma around talking about it and asking for help and talking about treatment and medication, and mental health is just important as your physical health. And I know a lot of people use the analogy of like, if you had diabetes, would you not take your medication? Then like, why wouldn't you treat your mental health in that same way? And I'm glad that Tori's calling attention to it. I think that's great. And it does seem like she's really grown as a person, or is just in a different place. Maybe grown
Mm-hmm.
is not the right way to say it, but it just feels like she was dealing with a lot, and it seems like she's in a different place.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the conversation with her and Aneesa was like, it seemed really real. Like, obviously we know that they're very good friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I like seeing conversations like that, where it's just like, obviously these people are being real with each other.
Yeah. I've always liked Tori, so I come from like a different perspective, and I guess I just like I hope that whatever comes of the season, whatever, because I think she's got a tough road ahead. Like her best friend is working with her ex fiance. Her ex fiance is in the house. The guy that she hooked up with out of like spite and anger, after breaking up with her ex fiance, is also in the house. Like, um, it's just it's a lot, and so I'm hoping for the best for her. But what I most appreciate is like her transparency and willingness to talk about this, because um, there's no way that she is the only person in that house that has experienced things like this. But
Yep.
to be able to put it very upfront and publicly, so that hopefully the viewers of this, and I, to me, and disagree with me if you like, tell me if you disagree with me, but it doesn't seem like she's using it as like, oh, well, you might not have liked me because of
No, I
blah
don't get
blah.
that at
Like,
all.
it doesn't come across that way. It does feel very genuine that
Yeah.
like, you've seen me on your TV for the last X amount of years, and like over the last year and a half or so, like I've really put in work, and here I am now, and you can do it too. So
Yeah, I don't think it's that at all. I think it does seem very genuine. And I appreciate her for being so open about it.
yeah.
And honest about what happened with Faysal. And listen, anybody that says Faysal's like a walking regret, I appreciate. So
Absolutely. All right. Well, we are actually at like the Fessy is Fessel part, and
yeah,
because we brought this up, I think on episode 1, where I'm like, did you notice it says Fessel as opposed
yeah,
to Fessy? And um, maybe it's because this is the first time in the game where he um, like really has an impact on it. Was this episode? But we get the
yeah.
explanation for why he's doing this, which we mentioned earlier, that
We
he
jinxed
wants.
ourselves last week, Kari, by saying we
Yeah.
haven't seen any of him this whole
Yeah.
season. And like basically this whole episode was about him.
Yeah, unfortunately. Although I do
Mm,
respect like him. I'm big on first names, which like I know seems uh hypocritical if you were to listen to me on the mole when I couldn't say Cassie's name for like 3 fucking episodes. But uh I it was in college, what a woman that I like, she was a grad intern, but I worked a lot with them. Her name, she always went by Connie, but her name is Constanza. And when you read that, it's like, whoa, this is a lot. And so she like called herself Connie because it was easier for people. And it was during like her internship, she's like, no, like I actually, like, you can learn to say my name.
yeah.
And like my name's important to me, and just the idea that like your first name is like the easiest identifier of you. And so I'm a big believer in trying to say people's names right. And so I appreciate that he's bringing this, like, this is my name, Bessie. I'm okay with people calling me Bessie, but like my name is Faysal,
Yep.
and it is part of his Arabic culture, and it means decision maker. But then fucking MTV clowns the shit out of it.
He, to be fair, kind of also clowned himself.
Yeah, he did. He was part of the joke.
Yeah.
So enter the messy fessy section of it all, where he's entertaining 4 women in that house at once.
This guy is such a train wreck. He is a train wreck. he's just the worst. He's just the worst.
Michelle, girl, what you
But
doing?
Michelle, I'm confused because like didn't she have a situation with him and it caused drama with him and Amanda and her and Amanda because Amanda was like dating Faysal for whatever reason she thought that was a good idea. And like there was drama between Michelle and Amanda because of it. And I thought Michelle was like over it, but I guess I mean, it just seemed like they were all laying in a bed. Like,
Mm-hmm.
again, coming from someone that watches Big Brother, people cuddle like all the time, which is a main reason why I would never be on Big Brother because I do not like to be touched by people that I'm not like
Yeah.
intimately comfortable with in that way.
Oh,
Like, I
same.
can give you a
Same.
hug, but like, I'm not cuddling with my friends. Like, that, I don't need to be touched like that. I'm good.
No, I absolutely agree with you on that. I hate people touching me. Um, but yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But he's also entertaining Laurel and Annalise and Colleen.
Yep.
uh, I think we talked about it on a previous podcast. It was on Twitter a little while ago. Like people someone put like all the pictures, like the headshots of
Yeah.
all the women that he's like messed around with
And it
on
was a
reality
lot.
TV. Yeah, it was like 16.
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
was a 4x4. Yeah,
Thank God
but
Haley got away from this man when she did.
so um yeah, I just thought it was funny. Like I did appreciate both him being in on like the decision maker, but I'm not good at making decisions. When he was first talking about it, he's like, "Yeah, I like to consider all my options." And then they were just like, "Oh, by the way, like who were you in bed with this morning? Who were you in bed with this afternoon?" Um but he did say he thinks that Colleen is the most attractive woman in the house.
I think he said she's the prettiest girl he's ever seen,
Yeah.
which I was like, okay, I mean, that's pretty drastic. She's pretty, but like, whoa, let's back it up.
Mhm. So I found it all entertaining. It was probably one of the better Fessy Fessel segments that we've
Yeah, it
gotten
was
out of
pretty
him on the
funny.
challenge because um I did think that there were parts where he made it seem like he was God's gift to women. Like these women like it because I listened to them, and I was like, Shh, okay, Fessy.
He also said something about Horacio when he was like, he's the backup boyfriend. When
He's
I don't have
yeah,
time for these women, they go to her. And I'm like, bro.
yeah.
Uh,
He said Horacio is boyfriend number two. I
right,
literally
right.
wrote Fessy saying Horacio is boyfriend number two. Shut up, Fessel. That was the exact note I wrote
Yeah,
down.
like, dude, I don't know. When I don't have time for them, they go to Horacio. It's like, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, uh, anyway, there was that whole segment, and then we get to the daily challenge, which I'm not gonna lie, I didn't pay too much attention to
I
because it
have
was
no idea what the goal of this was at all. I was watching it and I was trying to figure it out and I was like, wait, why are there people on the sideline? I guess they went in two heats. Like I didn't pay any
yeah.
attention to this challenge at all.
I figured it out. It felt like the directions got skipped over. I probably just didn't listen, but they ran into heats and there was 5 barrels. So you had to bring all 5 barrels over to this like first, we'll call it podium type of thing. And you had to stack the barrels so that someone could climb up and hit the button on the top. Then you had to carry those 5 barrels to the next podium, do the same thing. So there's 3 of those, bring them to the end. So it wasn't really complicated
Hmm.
daily. It was pretty straightforward. It wasn't the most exciting television. I hate that they ran it in 2 heats. Figure out a way to do that in one because given like it's in 2 heats and you should be going your hardest regardless, but I think that like the first place team that doesn't finish in first overall, so in this case Horacio and Olivia, do they finish in first if they see like, oh shit, we're only this far behind
Right.
Fessy and Mariah, like what what happens here if they're
Or
in
if
the
they're
same.
public about the times. Like if they
Yeah.
have a timer at the time, like they have the first place time on the first heat and then a timer so they at least know what they're going up against. Because it's not fair to do like a race in two heats because you can't race both heats against each other. Like it's just not fair.
Right. I absolutely agree. And so that's, I just, again, we know that they lack transparency, but I wish it was done all in one heat.
Yeah.
So top teams were in their heat. Oh, it wasn't Olivia. Olivia
It
and
was Johnny and
Horacio finished,
Raven.
yeah, second in their heat to Fessy and Mariah, but Johnny and Raven, or no, I'm sorry, they finished second to Johnny and Raven.
Yeah.
Johnny and Raven finished first in their heat. But those like seem to be the top three teams in this.
Yeah.
So two rookie teams, and then Fessy and Mariah, which we got to hear from Fessy's partner today, who she was like, "Thank you so much, Fessy. You were so encouraging." And here's what I'm talking about. Maybe people grow. Like Fessy is growing into being a okay partner and not completely disrespecting the women that he's with, thinking that like he's God's gift to them and they should be so thankful and not bringing him down. Maybe, at least according to Mariah, that's how he's acting so far in their one victory.
We'll
Maybe.
see.
Yeah.
I'm not putting my eggs in that basket yet.
No, I'm not even gonna buy eggs. Like, forget putting them in a basket. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
skip over that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I can't. I still have 2 more days of
Rotisserie chicken.
rotisserie chicken. I know chicken or eggs come from chicken, but
Mm-hmm.
can't be buying eggs
Oh,
yet.
true. Yeah.
All right. So then after this, we go to the bar, and I think the main thing to point out at the bar was that Tommy and Annalise are on their big brother shit.
The wildest thing, and I know you're not a Big Brother fan, is that Annalise is maybe one of the worst Big Brother players ever. Like she was literally furniture. She didn't do anything. She had no clue what was going on. She is dumb as rocks. Like so the fact that and Tommy actually like wasn't terrible, but the fact that they thought that this would work on this show is mind-boggling to me. Like I just I don't even know what to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, so their approach was, hey, we're going to go up to Colleen and Kim and say, if we pull the safe dagger, we're going to save you. And they're like, okay, great, we're going to work together. And then they go up to Horacio and Olivia and say the same exact thing.
Yep.
Which I just like, do you not have foresight? Do you not have the ability to think things through? You know the 4 teams going in.
Right. It's not like yeah, it's not like Olivia and Horacio wouldn't be able to just very equally be able to go up to Colleen and Kim and say the same thing or just be like, "Hey, did they promise you something? Because they promised us the same thing." Like it's just like way too many points of failure here in this plan.
I guess like for me, you have to assume the worst situation, which is what if they put Johnny and Raven in automatically? And then
Right.
that means what if we pull the safe dagger? The 2 teams we've promised we wouldn't put into the elimination are the 2 teams that we have to choose from. Like, how does that scenario not cross your mind?
I don't know, but the fact that it happened, I was watching it with my partner Matt and I was like, they're clearly going to pull the safe dagger, which obviously it's like, I don't know, can they rig that? But it felt very much like
Yeah.
I knew that was going to happen just based on how messy they were being.
I did wonder if like they purposefully put the safe dagger in the one straight in front of them, because I feel
Yeah.
like you're more likely to choose the one that's straight in front of you than
Yeah.
not. So anyway, but yeah, those promises get made, and then fast forward to the elimination, unless something else has happened that you want to talk about.
No,
Cool.
I don't think so.
Fast forward to the elimination, and the worst case scenario for Tommy and Annalise, it happens, which is Faysal and Mariah putting Johnny and Raven straight into elimination. And then they choose the safe dagger. So they have to choose between the two teams that they promised that they would keep safe. That one of them's not going to be safe here.
Right. Listen, I admire them trying, and I have to say, like, it could have worked out for them. If Colleen and Kim pulled that dagger, they were going to keep Tommy and Annalise safe. I don't know so much about Horacio and Olivia. It seemed like maybe they weren't really like 100% trusting Tommy and Annalise, but like it could have worked, but literally the worst case scenario for them happened, including who comes back in the house. So
yeah,
this was totally like a complete fumble. And they just look like shit to everybody else in the house.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Use your problem solving and critical thinking, man. This is just like, how do you not foresee that potentially happening?
Right.
So they end up choosing to save Colleen and Kim, which means our favorite team with a big ass asterisk goes into the elimination in Olivia and Horacio. So this elimination, as people were walking up, they're like, "Oh, hall brawl, hall brawl." I'm like, "Motherfuckers, have you not seen a hall brawl before? Like, this is not true to the form hall brawl." Like,
Someone was like, "It's like 2 layers."
Yeah. But it ends up being a twist on hall brawl, and I would love to hear your opinion on this. Which
I actually love it.
Same.
I loved it. Replace Hall Brawl with this. I loved this. I thought this was a really great twist on an old, I guess, favorite. I don't know. Yeah. Does anybody really like Hall Brawls that much anymore? I know we talked about it a lot in Challenge USA.
Yeah, we used to.
Yeah. But this is great. I love this innovation.
Yeah, so if you are just someone that likes to listen to Katie and I and don't know what we're talking about right now, what they did was Hall Brawl basically used to be a hallway that each player would stand at the opposite end and they would run at each other, and the goal was to get through to the other side and ring a bell. Well, here what they did was they made 2 hallways on top of each other, and what happened is the bottom hallway goes first, but in the middle of the bottom hallway there is a bar, and your goal is to push the person back far enough so that like the bar and them end up in like this, like the end of the hallway, whatever they called that zone. Like,
yeah,
I forget what it was called. If you do that, then your partner up top gets a 1 second head start on their version of the hall brawl up there. And the best 2 out of 3 wins. So the men started downstairs first and the women upstairs. That first one went to, so Horacio beat Johnny, surprisingly. I think a lot of people were surprised, including Johnny, at how strong.
Because Johnny's got huge muscles. Like, he's way bigger than Horacio in size.
Yeah. But Horacio is some form of professional soccer player. I don't know to
something like that.
What extent, because like I said, if I'm a professional soccer player, I can't imagine risking my health on the challenge, but he's at least trained professionally. He's fit. And so Horacio beats Johnny, which allows Olivia a 1 second head start. Olivia pushes Raven literally out of her shoes. Raven's shoe comes off during theirs, and Olivia beats Raven. So Horacio and Olivia win the first round.
Yep. What's up with the Raven shoes?
I don't know. Like, did she not learn the double knot, maybe?
Even Johnny Bananas is like, why can't she put her shoes on? Like, it was weird. That was weird to me.
It definitely gave her some good commentary.
I wonder if there was like something wrong with her shoes.
I don't know. Especially because if you're getting pushed back.
Right.
That's like a weird angle for your shoes to fall off in.
Right. I
Yeah,
don't know. It's weird.
I don't know either. And um, then in the second hall brawl, Olivia beats Raven in her downstairs portion, which gives Horacio the second head start. And it looked like Horacio was going to take this one. Then out of nowhere, Johnny just like steamrolled him to the other
Yeah.
side, and Johnny ends up winning it.
Yep. I
That
got
was really
nervous.
impressive. Yeah.
Now I'm kind of like, man, I wish maybe Johnny and Raven won.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, I would love to have them around still. Um,
Yeah, this
and
elimination before everything we found out about Olivia today was like my worst case scenario because I was like
yeah.
really bummed about these two teams having to go against each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the last one, Horacio beats Johnny downstairs. Olivia destroyed Raven upstairs. Like it
I
wasn't
feel like
even
Raven didn't
close.
even try that last
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it wasn't even close. And that gives Olivia and Horacio the 2-1 victory.
Yep. Olivia really she really won that for them.
Yeah, it was
That was like
her
Olivia's
winning
win.
it.
Yeah.
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 So we have
Valencia is saying that they explained about the shoes on the official challenge podcast, so we'll have some homework to do.
who's doing it this season?
I think Tori and Aneesa are doing it again.
That's a
I
hard
think.
maybe
I don't
for
know.
me. That's a hard maybe.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna look
did.
up the recap on that.
Okay, yeah, it's probably somewhere on the
Mm,
Reddit. Speaking of the Reddit, I saw something, and
okay.
I'm assuming it's Davon, but I'm not 100% positive that it's
Okay.
Davon. Someone with the username MTV Davon. So that's why I
Okay.
think it's Davon. It wasn't me just like hypothesizing here. Said that like MTV wonders why like people aren't watching this show. Here's all the drama that happened on this, like they could have shown in this episode, and like Devin got
Oh, all the
into an
fights.
argument into yeah, like there was a bunch of shit that went down, and we
There are
see
like
none of
4 or
it.
5 conflicts that apparently happened in the show that they didn't show.
And it looks like there was quite a few that happened this episode specifically, like that they could have aired in the timing of this episode.
Okay, Valencia said Devin and Davon did the latest podcast. So that
All
is
right.
more tolerable for sure.
It's more tolerable. And when I listened to their podcast with Sarah Lucina and Danny, though, at the end of last season, I had a little bit of trouble just because, like, for example, Davon's here right now. If this is Davon on Reddit being like, oh, well, there's all this stuff they could have shown, but then they were being like, nope, there's no way that Angela didn't know because the producers would never lie, blah, blah, blah.
Right, right,
like,
right.
so it's hard to, I don't know. I struggled with their podcast a little bit because it's like, I know, Davon, you've been on what, 3 different reality TV shows now? Like, do not sit here and try to play the, like, oh, the producers would have told, like, that there's full transparency. Like, do not try to play me like that.
Well,
So
I think it's unfortunate because it's like the official podcast. So she
yeah,
can't
and
like,
I get it. It's just like hard to, I don't know. It's just for me, it's like, all right, well, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
especially if you're gonna come here, if it is her on Reddit and say all this. Now, where did I see it? I'm looking for the post.
It was on,
Oh, found it.
somebody posted it on maybe like the challenge spoiler accounts or something. One of them posted it on Instagram too.
So this is what and I don't know if it is. It's that the username is MTV Davon. So
Okay.
take that with a grain of salt. I don't know if it's actually her. Maybe I can look at her post to see if it
I was
like
going to say
tracks
maybe
that
she
it's
did like
her.
an AMA or something in the past and made this account.
But she said, now that Raven and Johnny are eliminated, I can say this. And if you don't want to hear this, like skip over a couple minutes. Because it says episode spoiler, but I guess we're talking about the episode, so it's not a season spoiler. Bananas and Devin manipulated Nerys into thinking that Raven was shit talking her. They argued so badly to the point that security got involved. Devin was screaming at Colleen at the top of his lungs, calling her a liar and demanding an apology letter. So she wrote one in German, which made him more pissed off. That would have been so good to see, especially because of all people, Devin, like Devin, who holds himself in this air of like, I'm the smartest person in this house.
This is
I'm
why I
so
fucking hate
intelligent.
Devin, by the way.
And the fact that, and I bet you he was calling her a liar because of the whole mole thing, like,
Yeah.
but the fact that she wrote it in German and we didn't see that, like, come on. If it was Johnny Bananas who did something like that, like he wrote a note in a different language, like it would be shown for 3 fucking episodes. But the fact that we didn't see that makes me so mad. Colleen went off on Jay because he wanted Olivia over her. And when Tommy and Annalise chose Olivia and Horacio, Olivia immediately shouted to the entire house that Tommy and Annalise are the fakest people in the game. So, with all that being said, MTV has the material to make this show good. It isn't a sport, it's a reality competition show. There is zero reason why this and much more, I just didn't want to type it all up, should have been edited out. Even if you skip everything besides the note would have been so funny. I mean, we saw Devin getting in Josh's face with like the what's 8 times 9 shit. And like, why can't we see Devin getting mad because this girl wrote him an apology note in German? It would have been such good television.
I'm actually surprised they didn't show something like that if it included Bananas and Devin working together to manipulate someone, because like obviously the show wants us to care about Bananas and Devin for some reason, but I don't care about either one of them, and I hate them both. I hate them.
I took Nitro's collar and he's now like howling. I'm trying to see if there's anything that actually makes it so that's her. It's hard to tell.
I would say like an AMA or something would be.
Yeah. I don't know, and I don't want to like sit here and have people listen to me scroll the internet. It doesn't exactly I wouldn't trust that it's her. Yeah, that would be my guess. That would be my guess, is that it's not her. But so I take back some of the stuff I said, but I still find their podcast to be a little difficult because they have to like play to the producers so much.
Yeah. One thing that we didn't talk about, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it because I actually don't care, but is Tori and Jordan's conversation.
Oh yeah.
At the bar. That's it. I don't really have anything to say about it. Just that they talked it out and it seemed like they are in a decent place now, which I guess is nice, or got the closure that they wanted. So whatever. Good for them, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if of all the drama that we can see, that's like probably the last drama I want to see is exes, like those two specifically fighting.
Yeah.
So let it be peaceful, let it be fine.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm not okay with? Not seeing the German letter.
No, I'm maybe they'll show it at the reunion.
Yeah, maybe. When I taught in that same northeast corner of Connecticut, we had a German exchange student, and she was one of my favorite students like ever. I still keep in touch with her. So they had to take this state test, but it was brand new, and she came in, and she is so smart. Like she was taking like a math, a grade above her level and all this stuff, like had straight A's, was like just an amazing kid overall. And she came into my room after the test and she's like, Dahlia, I'm concerned. And I'm like, why? She's like, there was a question on the test. It was like an essay question. And I knew the answer, but I couldn't like form the words in English fast enough to write the answer because I only had a certain amount of time left. So I wrote my answer in German. They're going to know it was me because I'm the only one who speaks German.
Oh my God.
Small school. And I'm like, honestly, like, don't worry about it. Like, you're here. They're not going to track you down. Like, you're going to be back in Germany next year. It is
Right.
okay. But
Right.
they like hype these kids up so much, like, oh, your performance affects our school, blah, blah, blah. And she's like,
Yeah.
I don't want. So when I first read that, it reminded me of her
That's
because
funny.
she's like, I really tried. If they translate it to German, it's a very good answer. So I'm hoping Colleen's there. Like, if you translate this,
I would love to see. Maybe they'll.
better.
You know how sometimes they show like what they should have shown and like
Yeah,
clips of
like
it. Maybe we'll see
shit,
something like that. Yeah.
shit we should have seen. Yeah, I
Yeah.
hope so.
I hope so
So,
too.
the episode ends with TJ being like, "Hey, so are we gonna bring anybody else in?" And they're just like, "Nah,
I
just
love
kidding.
this
Go
TJ
ahead."
moment.
And then he's like, "Actually, wait a second," and we don't
And they're
see
like,
who it
wait, what?
is.
Wait,
Yeah,
what? And he's like, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, he was having fun with it. I like that.
yeah, we don't see who it is, but I think we know who it is.
Yeah, I think we know too. It's Darrell and Veronica. Sorry, spoiler alert.
So hopefully they're the last. I think they're the last new
I
people to
think so
come in.
too.
But yeah, so I don't know. Like, it sucks to lose Johnny and Raven. It sucks to lose Olivia to like white supremacy. But like, I still can I like still root for them knowing that she like I don't root for her. I root for her teammate.
I
Like,
don't.
can I root for them as rookies, as like an entity? Can I not root for her, the human? But like I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Like, Jerry Jones is one of the worst humans on the planet, but like I'm not rooting for Jerry Jones. I'm just rooting for the team. You know what I mean? Like, is that
Mm,
allowed? I accept that she sucks. However, I still just want to like root for them to do well because of who they are in this game, like what they
yeah.
represent as like a strong rookie pair, not as Olivia the individual. I do not support her and her ideals and all of that. But like, is that legal? Can I get away with that?
Maybe we can root for them as like someone to take out some of the vets so we don't just see a steamroll, but maybe like we don't want them to win any money.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
guess
want to
I can.
fund white supremacy. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right. No, I'm on that train
But
too.
like, I'm fine if they win a couple of things and like take out a bananas or take out someone that's or Jordan or something that's like
Yeah,
or a Faysal
yeah.
who would steamroll the game. But just like don't
And
win any money. Don't
If
be
I'm
successful.
if I'm a vet, I don't want to go against them in
Me
anything.
neither.
They're good.
That's why I have a feeling they're not going to be sticking around much longer.
Got it.
Because if they don't win, they're going in. I mean, like
Yeah.
the same thing that happened to Johnny. Like he was going to be everyone's target if he didn't win.
It was like when they kept putting Wes into the eliminations on the one where like you had to go and run the laps and there was different things and stuff. Like, he won so many eliminations in that season. Maybe it's
Yeah.
gonna be that type of thing.
One thing I want to say, since you brought up Wes and just like some of those older seasons and just bringing it back to Tommy and Annalise for a second, like I get that. What I don't like in the challenge house is when everyone's like, oh, this sounds like some Big Brother shit. This is like, oh, this sounds like Big Brother. Like, do they not know the history of the challenge and the fact that like people throw eliminations just to get people thrown in all the time, or throw challenges just to get people thrown in all the time? Like, there's a lot of like conniving backstabbing that happens in the challenge. Johnny Bananas stole money from Sarah, like a lot of money.
Yeah.
Sarah put Johnny Bananas in an elimination to give herself a better chance to win. Like, this has been going on since before Big Brother was a part of the show. So let's not get on our moral high horse, people. Like, there's one winner at the end, same way as there is on Big Brother.
I agree with you.
That's all.
Man.
Also, Nani was like, sounds like Big Brother. And like, you're dating someone that won Big Brother? So like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Granted, by like not doing anything. So
yeah. That's very true. But all right. Well, next week we'll probably have Darrell and Veronica there, and we'll just keep bringing in vets to take out the rookies. So catch you in season 39. Just kidding.
I love Darrell so much, so I'm at least happy to see him back.
Yeah.
Like, he's truly my favorite challenger.
And
He makes me laugh, and I love him.
he's a Democrat. So,
Yeah, and we love that. We love
yeah.
that. Someone we can root for.
So is Veronica. So,
Yes, she is.
here we
If you
go.
want to see some drama, not drama, but like some exposing, I think Ashley Millionaire Mitchell, has been one to really expose some of the challengers' political views, as well as Veronica, I think, has put it on her Twitter. So, I mean, they're probably old tweets by now, but you could find them if
Yeah.
you really look.
Yeah. I only know that Darrell is a Democrat because I read that him and Alton would really get into it on All Stars.
What is
Because
Alton?
not a Democrat, he's a big Trumper.
I quit. I can't. This
Yeah.
is truly. What?
Yeah.
What? I don't even know. I have no words. I just am so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. I don't even. Wow, that has me reeling a little bit.
Yeah, there was a group of them who would like get into it with Alton pretty regularly. I think Veronica on that season with Alton? I don't think so.
I don't know.
No, but Jarrell definitely was. I can't remember who else, but
So
yeah,
Alton is with what's her name?
Gisela? Is that her name?
Yeah. Is she a Trumper?
I don't know.
Well, she's by default.
I mean,
If
Tori
you're dating one.
is Tori? Tori was engaged to.
I just don't know how you could be in a romantic relationship with someone who has such different views as you, or like be okay with that.
I got into
I
it
could
with
never.
someone.
I could never.
Yeah, when I used to play softball, and I was like, so I played softball with like a lot of white men who were probably at least 10 years older than me on this team. But I was saying like, yeah, or we were talking about another guy on our team who like went on a date with someone and they didn't work out and whatever. And like somehow political views got brought up with it. And I was like, yeah, I don't even like, I can't remember if I was single or not at this point, but maybe I was talking about when I was on the apps. I'm like, no, I absolutely do not match with anybody who is even puts moderate. Like,
No.
yeah.
Fuck that.
And one of the guys on my team was like, that's just too much. Like, you can have different political beliefs. I was like,
No, sorry.
because I think what it is like a lot of things that Republicans see as political beliefs, I see as human rights. And
literally,
that's the biggest difference for me. And he was like, well, I can't believe, well, that's just too far. And I'm like, I'm not trying to date you. So like,
yeah, like relax, bro.
Yeah.
I'm watching Love is Blind right now, and I won't go too into spoilers at all, but there was a conversation about abortion in this most recent set of episodes. And it's like the fact that you're in these pods talking to these people for who knows how many hours, and this topic does not come up until you meet each other in person and you're engaged is truly wild to me. It would be the first thing I asked. It would be the first thing. I'd be like, hold on. I know I can't see you, but I need to know. Are you a Republican? And do you think abortion is a right?
Are you
okay,
Republican?
great. Okay, we can continue this conversation. Or like, okay, bye, I'm out.
Pod.
Yeah, see ya.
No, I agree. So, but yeah, there's that. So, we know that Darrell's one of the good ones. But all right, let's close this out so I can go cry about losing my favorite team.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'll just be rooting for Darrell as we move forward. And Nelson, my guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Katie, what are you doing on the internet these days? Where can the people find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at O Nelly T Stan. I'm just kidding. At Real Sim Katie. You can also follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/RealSimKatie with an underscore. If you listen to our Housewives podcast, The Cool Water Show, you heard me just give the same pitch, but I'm doing a 24-hour stream tomorrow on the 29th. If you would like to stop by and say hello, I will be there from 4 p.m. to 4 p.m. Otherwise, I'm just there playing games and hanging out. So feel free to stop by and give a follow if you'd like. Otherwise, you can follow me on all the podcasts in this place on Silent Podcasts here, where we're anything but silent. I especially am anywhere but anything but silent because I'm on every fucking podcast. No, I'm just kidding. I'm here with Kari every week on TJ Hates Quitters. We just finished recording our Cool Water Show episode about all the things going on in the Real Housewives universe. You can also catch me on Fire and Pod, where we talk about all things House of the Dragon. Myself, Javier, and Chanel. We just did our finale episode, posted that today, recorded it yesterday. It's been on YouTube since then, so check that out. We have one more episode coming. We're going to do a season wrap up, and then we have 2 years to wait. Who knows where we'll be in this world in 2 years. And then you can also catch Naomi and I talking about Andor, which is some of the best Star Wars that I've ever seen. So check us out there as well.
Do it or else.
Or else.
All right. Let's find the banners, Kari. Here we go. Okay, so you can find me on all the platforms at KGD26. Most importantly right now is TikTok, as I'm giving you a day-to-day update on my rotisserie chicken week. If you don't know what that is, I encourage you to check out my TikTok. But the TLDR is I have eaten rotisserie chicken for every meal since Monday morning. And so yeah, I'm doing that until Sunday night. So I have 7 more meals because after this I'm going to go eat dinner. And yeah, just follow along with that nonsense there. In terms of podcasts, I am podcasting with Katie for the Housewives. We just did it before this, so you can catch up on what we think on what's going down there. And we just finished our mole coverage. We're trying to get some postseason interviews scheduled. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that will happen. So look out for Tiny Bubbles coming soon. But otherwise, you should be watching us on YouTube or Twitch, whatever, like is your favorite venue for it. Great. But you can find us by, take your banner off, Kari. Always mess it up. Valencia, roast me in the chat. It's fine. So search Silent Podcasts on both Twitch and YouTube to watch the video forms. If you do that for Real Housewives, you can see my new desk chair that I put together this week.
Yes,
you
true.
can follow us at silent_podcast on Twitter to just keep up with what we're doing. And then if you listen to us in podcast form, whether it's Apple, Spotify, the other places, we highly suggest that you subscribe, follow, rate, all those things. 5 stars or keep it moving. If you're going to give us less than 5 stars, just give us another chance. Wait for a 5-star episode. Say something nice. So otherwise, we don't want it. But if you are going to say something nice, thank you in advance. We appreciate it. We'll be back next week to cover next week's episode. And until then, I hope you find someone to root for who has the same political beliefs as you.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll find someone new to ruin for you next week when we cover next week's episode.
I'm laughing because it's probably true.
Yeah, it's probably true. It's not a joke.
Yeah, it's unfortunately probably true. But all right, let me try not to mess up this end video. If you are watching and you see Katie and I still alive after I put this video up, no, you didn't. So we'll catch you next time. Bye.